On August 2, 2023, mainland media reported that Beijing's precipitation set a historical record of 744.8 millimeters. The worst flooding occurred in the southwestern suburbs of Fangshan and Mentogao districts. It was rumored by insiders that Beijing discharged floodwater to neighboring areas. These areas were thought to be shielding Beijing from flooding. Not only was Beijing diverting floodwater to the suburbs, but also the neighboring province of Hebei. According to mainland media, on July 31, 2023, some big lakes in Hebei were open to release floodwater, and 20 large and medium-sized reservoirs in the province were discharging floodwater as well. On August 1st, 8 reservoirs in 2 districts of Beijing and the Yangding River, the largest river to flow through Beijing, released floodwater at the same time, flooding parts of Hebei province such as Zhuozhou City, stranding many residents. Staff from Zhuozhou's Emergency Management Bureau admitted to Chinese media that upstream flooding from Beijing had caused Zhuozhou's water level to rise quickly. In other words, Hebei province had to shoulder the burden of flooding for Beijing. It has enraged the people of Hebei. They questioned, the lives of the people of Hebei don't count? What's even more terrifying is that rumors have emerged that the government has cut off web access to prevent flood victims from broadcasting the news, live streaming, or seeking help online. The water is 4 to 5 meters deep in parts of downtown, and many neighborhoods and villages are flooded throughout the city. As of August 2nd, the entire city is inundated and has no water or electricity. Cries for help can be heard in the neighborhood.
看，好多人求救呢。有救援的赶紧来吧！
兄弟气上了，真是啊！我活了39年了，我想不到发水是这样的。城市中心水深30米，你看见吗？这能看见吗？这个都淹了，好一趟救援了。能来的大哥大姐们啊，咱们那么简船有的是，呀有大车的，6.8米的4.2米的都行啊。刚我看那小孩吓的那孩子都不行的了。大哥大姐们啊，涿州，能出一点力的出点力了，大哥大姐们。我39了没见过这城市，我是白洋淀人，在水里长大的。
Frantic, worried, families piled onto boats Friday morning, rescued from their homes, now swallowed in flood water.
We looked outside and literally everything in our yard had floated away.
Hope Bryan says the water rose quickly, hitting her waist by the time she got out of Green Acres mobile home community in Union City.
I had to get my cat and literally like the clothes on my back.
First responders rushed to the scene using fishing boats to get door to door.
It started to recede yesterday afternoon and then this morning it just blew up.
Kim Davis is the manager of Green Acres, just devastated by this site.
We have several still in there, some children still in there, so it's a priority.
Loved ones anxiously waited as rescue crews spent hours bringing boat after boat back to shore.
Families, single mamas, elderly.
We saw children gripped tightly, pets held close. One man told us he just moved in and is sure he lost everything. Another man, blind with 2 kids, was also trapped. But thankfully, crews found them safe. And after they're rescued, folks are getting onto these school buses and also church vans where they're being taken to shelters so that they can find somewhere dry to be and figure out what's next. Flash flooding hit Union City hard. Parking lots along West Reelfoot engulfed, cars trapped, people forced to wade through the water. Local and state law enforcement shut down several streets and detoured traffic. A busy and unsettling morning.
Just getting everybody out and safe and dry today and then regrouping and figuring it out from there.
Jessica Gertler, WREG News Channel 3.
Belgrade, Serbia, August 5, 2023. Where a terrible storm that brought massive flooding hit various areas in the Serbian capital. A strong storm and flood arrived in Serbia around 1 p.m., and the western part of the country were the first to be hit. Hour by hour, HMS issues the latest warning for those parts of the country that are next to be hit. Heavy showers with an amount of rain of 20 to 40 mm locally and more for the next hour in the area of Branichevsky and Pomoravsky districts short period of time, short-lived hail and stormy winds. The storm uprooted tall trees in Mirjevsky Boulevard in Belgrade. Some of them fell on parked cars. Trees also fell in Krajiska Street in Zemun. The storm that hit Zemun today created almost unbelievable scenes on the street on this municipality. In one of the videos shared on social networks, dozens of containers can be seen being carried by the wind, and they are almost flying as if they were made of paper. The Teresian tunnel in the center of Belgrade is completely flooded. The wind blew away part of the roof of a building. In the courtyard that separates the buildings in Gavrilo Princip, Mihajlo Bogisavic and the Astoria Hotel, a returning wall collapsed and a tree was felled. Gronje Milanovac, the village of Kostinici, Pranjani, Losici, and Telchini, the municipality of Ub and Lachkovac and Obrenovac were the first targets of the storm. They attacked Belgrade after 2 p.m. when it got dark in the middle of the day. It was hailing the size of walnuts and raining in waterfalls.
Severe weather continues to rage across the Arabian Peninsula. On August 5, a powerful storm was traveling to Dubai and Sharjah. The storm followed the heat wave. The National Meteorological Center of the United Arab Emirates has issued an orange warning. It was an extreme weather event similar to a tornado. The storm caused havoc in cities that were not used to such harsh weather. The wind speed reached 140 km per hour. Strong winds caused damage to cities. Traffic was blocked due to fallen trees. The wind also tore off the roofs and damaged the facades of buildings. Dozens of cars were damaged.
The NRA previously announced that an orange alert was issued today. Tornadoes can also occur. First, the Latvian Environment, Geology and Meteorological Center, LVG with circumflex MC, issued an orange warning for severe thunderstorms nationwide, indicating that gusts of wind speed could exceed 20 meters per second in many places. However, LVG with circumflex MC reported that around 12:30, a red warning for thunderstorms and high winds was issued for land in the central part of the country. Tom's Brisis has reported on social networks that what is happening on Double's side is distasteful. Just before 12 p.m. on Monday, gusts of wind in the storm pushed wind speeds at the Double Observatory to 33 meters per second, according to LVG with circumflex MC data. Such wind speeds correspond to strong storms that cause great damage, breaking and uprooting trees, damaging buildings and threatening human life. Extensive damage was also reported in Tilvid. The NRA previously announced that an orange alert was issued today. Tornadoes can also occur. First, the Latvian Environment, Geology and Meteorological Center, LVG with circumflex MC, issued an orange warning for severe thunderstorms nationwide, indicating that gusts of wind speed could exceed 20 meters per second in many places. However, LVG with circumflex MC reported that around 12:30, a red warning for thunderstorms and high winds was issued for land in the central part of the country. Tom's Brisis has reported on social networks that what is happening on Double's side is distasteful. Just before 12 p.m. on Monday, gusts of wind in the storm pushed wind speeds at the Double Observatory to 33 meters per second, according to LVG with circumflex MC data. Such wind speeds correspond to strong storms that cause great damage, breaking and uprooting trees, damaging buildings and threatening human life. Extensive damage was also reported in Tilvid. The NRA previously announced that an orange alert was issued today. Tornadoes can also occur. First, the Latvian Environment, Geology and Meteorological Center, LVG with circumflex MC, issued an orange warning for severe thunderstorms nationwide, indicating that gusts of wind speed could exceed 20 meters per second in many places. However, LVG with circumflex MC reported that around 12:30, a red warning for thunderstorms and high winds was issued for land in the central part of the country. Tom's Brisis has reported on social networks that what is happening on Double's side is distasteful. Just before 12 p.m. on Monday, gusts of wind in the storm pushed wind speeds at the Double Observatory to 33 meters per second, according to LVG with circumflex MC data. Such wind speeds correspond to strong storms that cause great damage, breaking and uprooting trees, damaging buildings and threatening human life. Extensive damage was also reported in Tilvid. The NRA previously announced that an orange alert was issued today. Tornadoes can also occur. First, the Latvian Environment, Geology and Meteorological Center, LVG with circumflex MC, issued an orange warning for severe thunderstorms nationwide, indicating that gusts of wind speed could exceed 20 meters per second in many places. However, LVG with circumflex MC reported that around 12:30, a red warning for thunderstorms and high winds was issued for land in the central part of the country. Tom's Brisis has reported on social networks that what is happening on Double's side is distasteful. Just before 12 p.m. on Monday, gusts of wind in the storm pushed wind speeds at the Double Observatory to 33 meters per second, according to LVG with circumflex MC data. Such wind speeds correspond to strong storms that cause great damage, breaking and uprooting trees, damaging buildings and threatening human life. Extensive damage was also reported in Tilvid.
Visa raža, viss lupatās, ej tu dirst.
Paslēpušies.
Oh, fuck.
Ak, Dievs!
Ak, Dievs! Teicu, ka tās ne...
Ejam, bro!
Пизда, бля, логи, ара, нахуй! Бля, там лак сгобал, это! Пиз, блядь!
А ну, такие
Severe storm with heavy rain, gusty winds, and large hail that swept across western and central parts of Latvia on Monday caused devastation to property and destroyed crops, local authorities said. Social media has been alive with video and picture footage from the storm and its trail of destruction, many of them relayed by local residents. Estonia and Lithuania are also being affected by the extreme weather conditions. In the afternoon, a severe weather warning was also issued for eastern parts of Latvia as the weather front was continuing to move toward the region.
Погода в Добеле.
In Dobele, central Latvia, wind gusts once reached 33 meters per second during the storm, the highest wind speed recorded in the country in recent decades. Huge hail was also reported in Naudit village, Dobele municipality. Meanwhile, in Tervede, a region in east-central Latvia, multiple tree falls were reported in several places. Trees were uprooted and some of them hit the roofs of houses.
Ej, tu nost! Ej, tu nost! Ej!
As previously reported, the storm is crossing the country from west to east and by mid-afternoon had reached central districts, with a red warning in place for parts of the country still to feel the strength of its blast. Several thousand homes are reportedly without electricity. During the first half of the day, the storms crossed western Kurzeme region. In the afternoon and evening, the storms will form in more central and eastern parts of Latvia. The State Fire and Rescue Service received more than 200 calls about damage caused by the storm in the central Latvian municipalities of Dobele, Tukums, and Jelgava, including broken trees that blocked roads and damaged motor vehicles, and hail that broke windows and damaged roofs. Official has asked the Ministries of Environmental Protection, Regional Development and Agriculture to compile information on the storm damage and report on any assistance needed. He said that Latvia, hitting by such an unusually severe storm, is feeling the effects of climate change.
Un tornado. Me pasó un tornado.
glacial flood caused this house to collapse into a river in Alaska's capital. Record flooding struck the city of Juneau after a glacial dam outburst, destroying at least one structure and prompting officials to evacuate residents on one street. Glacial outburst flooding happens when trapped water escapes through cracks in thinning ice dams, a phenomenon that has increased around the world as a result of climate change.
And you can see the debris, or at least the dust, that is spitting up on the bottom portion of that tornado as this is coming in. So as often, or as easy as it's to look at the tornado itself, look at the winds and the cloud base. You can see how it's swirling around and rotating too. So the upper level winds are moving fast. The electricity on the right hand of your screen too, pulsing through, showing the instability. We've been tracking a lot of tornadoes this year.
Rain, I mentioned, quite heavy around Ottawa in particular. 60 millimeters falling in an hour's time, and the end result, flooding. Last week was tornadoes, this week flooding, and look at that. They had some problem with the transit system, some cars as well, completely flooded in this parking lot. The rain is just now moving out, so waters are receding, but another damaging day of storms through the nation's capital. And it looks like Saturday, more rain for this area in particular.
Heavy rainfall and strong winds from Typhoon Kanun caused flooding. Landslides and extensive facility damage across South Korea on Thursday, as it was sweeping the nation from south to north after landing on the southeastern coast in the morning. The typhoon also forced the cancellation of 355 flights at 14 airports, 161 KDX high-speed trains and 251 regular trains, and the closures of 490 roads, 166 coastal areas, 178 sea roads, and 21 national parks nationwide. No casualties have been reported as a result of the typhoon, but 10,641 people have been evacuated to emergency shelters as of 11 a.m. according to reported. Kanun, which landed on the southeastern coast near Gyeonggi at 9:20 a.m., was cutting through the inland regions longitudinally and is expected to reach 40 kilometers east-southeast of Seoul around 9 p.m., according to the Korea Meteorological Administration. As of noon, it was heading north at a speed of 38 kilometers per hour at a location 20 kilometers south of the southeastern city of Daegu. The KMA said nothing its central pressure is 980 hectopascals with a maximum wind speed of 104 kph or 29 meters per second. The typhoon slightly weakened soon after its landfall and its speed is expected to fluctuate between 19 and 33 kph before crossing the inter-Korean border around midnight. The KMA said nothing the reduced speed may further increase in the precipitation and rain-related damage. The expected path of Kanun is unprecedented as it is to become the first to pass through the Korean peninsula from south to north since record-keeping began in 1951. Thus, it may stay over South Korea for about 15 hours.
Side as Sky Eye flew over Haverhill. A massive sinkhole has opened up and has forced nearly 24 people from their homes. The mayor has now declared a state of emergency there.
Господи, пожалуйста, помоги нам. 11 августа утром на видео сняли ад, охвативший Лохаину. Жители проводили часы в океане, чтобы спастись от пожара и выжить. Гнев климатического Цербера нарастает. Ученые бьют тревогу. Экстренное обращение Эгона Челакяна.
طرق الآن يا إخوان. أبدا يا رب يا الله رحمتك يا الله. لا إله إلا الله.
The summer of extremes continues. Floodgates have opened, quite literally. Many countries across the globe are left to pick up pieces after devastating floods. Homes and businesses destroyed. Cars washed away. Roads and bridges ruined, and critical infrastructure impacted. There's a trail of destruction no matter where you look. Let's start with the United States. Northeast states witnessed heavy rainfall in mid-July. New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, and Connecticut witnessed floods and storms. Vermont received over 2 months' worth of rain in just a few days. The Hudson Valley received between 5 to 8 inches of rain in just one day. This is being considered as a 1-in-1,000-year event. In China, floods affected the capital Beijing. As we speak, the threat of heavy rainfall remains. The country is experiencing its deadliest and most destructive floods in recent history. Parallels are being drawn with the 1998 floods, when over 4,000 people were killed.
We're not just trying to get a free meal. Maybe today I get to eat a bowl of instant noodles that you donated to me. Then, with the money I save from eating that bowl of noodles, I can buy a piece of floor tile or a brick and rebuild our home. Our home is gone now. I also understand you might say, why should we donate to you when you're capable of working? I really hope everyone can understand that our difficulties have just begun, from the moment we were rescued, and the hardest times are still ahead.
The story is similar in Japan. The country witnessed its heaviest rain ever this year. Powerful typhoons are making the situation worse. The Prime Minister's office appointed a special task force for coordinated response. Floods have also impacted the beauty in the Balkans. Slovenia is experiencing extreme flooding. The country recently received a month's worth of rain in just 24 hours. Experts say this is Slovenia's worst ever natural disaster. The estimated damage runs in millions of dollars. and thousands of people had to be evacuated by helicopter or boats. India too faced deadly floods and landslides this year. New Delhi recorded the wettest month of July in decades. Floodwater entered the premises of the iconic monument, the Taj Mahal. The state of Himachal Pradesh, located at the base of the Himalayas, was the hardest hit. The monsoon mayhem is real. But what makes this year's floods extreme and extraordinary? In order to understand the crisis, let's start with breaking it down. What are floods? Floods are the most frequent type of natural disaster. According to the WHO, it occurs when an overflow of water submerges land that is usually dry. Floods can take hours or even days to develop. This gives authorities and residents time to prepare or evacuate. But sometimes floods happen without a warning. What causes floods? The most common causes are heavy rainfall, rapid snowmelt, or a tropical cyclone. Typhoon Doksuri, Typhoon Mawar, and Typhoon Khanun are the latest examples. There are three common types of floods. Flash floods, they are caused by rapid and excessive rainfall. Water level rises quickly. Rivers, streams, or roads may be overtaken. Then there are river floods. This happens when consistent rain or melting snow forces a river to exceed its capacity. And finally, there are coastal floods. They are caused by tropical cyclones or tsunamis. How dangerous are floods? They can cause widespread devastation, resulting in the loss of life, property, and infrastructure. It can be even more dangerous when the water recedes. It can contaminate landscapes with debris, pesticides, fuel, and untreated sewage. The spread of floodwater can also carry diseases. Affected people are likely to lose access to drinking water for weeks on end. This can lead to diseases like typhoid, malaria, cholera, and hepatitis A. Floods can devastate any kind of environment. There are regions that experience frequent floods, and then there are those that have not been flooded for many years. These regions never develop the capacity to adapt to flood conditions. This phenomenon is increasing in frequency and intensity, and that's because of climate change. The most important question is this: why should you care? If you live in a high-rise or a Tier 1 city where floodwater cannot reach, why should you even bother? Because floods affect all of us alike. The stinky water may not enter your home, but it can cause power, water, and gas outage which will impact you sooner or later. It can cage you in your house by disrupting transport routes. It can halt commercial supplies. Floods might be a natural phenomenon, but they've become catastrophic because of us, humans. The constant exploitation of natural resources is backfiring. Sooner or later, all of us will have to learn how to navigate ourselves amidst nature's fury. So, be aware yourself and empower others before all hell breaks loose.
On the afternoon of August 13th, a tornado struck the southern towns and villages of Dafeng District, Yancheng, Jiangsu. Many houses were destroyed. Videos shared by netizens show the fierce winds carrying sand and debris, a dark tornado column extending from the ground into the ominous clouds moving through the fields, creating a scene of extreme terror. Preliminary information indicates there have been casualties, and the specific details of injuries, fatalities, and property damage are currently being verified. According to assessments by experts from the China Meteorological Administration and Jiangsu Provincial Meteorological Bureau, the tornado has been classified as an EF2 level tornado, moderate intensity. In the early morning of August 6th, a magnitude 5.5 earthquake struck Dezhou city of Pingyuan County in Shandong Province. This was the largest earthquake in Shandong Province in the past decade. Amid the sudden intense shaking, people panicked and ran outside, gathering on the streets for safety. After the earthquake, many buildings collapsed, bricks scattered everywhere, and by 3:45 a.m., plaster fell from walls. A netizen commented, "For the first time in my life, I felt so close to death." Minutes after the quake in Zhumadian, Biyang County, Henan, swallows filled the sky in chaos.
8月6号凌晨2点39分，我的天，你看，满天飞呀！
3 days later, on August 9th, earthquakes struck Hezi City in Shandong and Yibin City in Sichuan. The previous night, on August 8th, Hezi in Shandong also witnessed chaotic swarming of swallows. On August 8th, in Lijiang City near Sichuan, swallows were seen behaving skittishly. These earthquakes occurred after the largest rainfall in Beijing's 140-year history. The CCP authorities discharged floodwaters without warning to protect Beijing and the Xiong'an New Area, inundating downstream regions and causing countless casualties. Since late July, mainland China has been continuously hit by typhoons, floods, earthquakes, and other natural disasters. Many strange phenomena have occurred in various places before and after these disasters. Look at the water, but now the water is secondary. Look at this, it's now a disaster. These locusts, oh my goodness, layers of them. I thought these were leaves on the pole, but they're all locusts. The locusts are all over this pole, tons of them. There must be thousands of pounds. Look at the flood. A villager from the northeast revealed in a video that after suffering from a flood, they found a large number of locusts in the paddy fields.
这杆上全是。真厚。早你没来吧？多了没有？得有个几千斤。啊。
Even the stones are sprouting. Every bump has a big stone underneath. A video shared by a netizen showed that in Neiqiu, Xingtai, Hebei, an asphalt road had many black bumps resembling seeds about to sprout. Witnesses tore open these bumps, revealing white stones inside. The Neiqiu County Transportation Bureau confirmed the occurrence. In Maoming City, Guangdong Province, nocturnal bats were seen crawling on the ground and palm tree trunks in broad daylight, a very unusual and eerie sight. Some netizens commented that it made their scalp tingle. According to mainland media Red Star News, from August 6th to 7th, at the Haigang West Pier and the drainage area connecting Dianshi Lake and Cao Lake in Kunming, Yunnan, a large number of bighead carp were seen constantly jumping out of the water, some even landing on anchored yachts.
请问一下，会计是不是在这做？哎，对，没记人。
After many fish leapt out, netizens discovered numerous dead fish floating on the water. Look at the moon. Who here has seen such a red moon? This is Taiping Town in Zhaoyang, Hubei.
天上的月亮，你们有谁见过？见过这儿的活月亮？我们这儿是湖北枣阳太平镇。
On the same day, a blood moon appeared in Qingdao. The blood moon is considered an ill omen in both Eastern and Western cultures. Blood red skies appeared in places like Shandong and Hebei. On August 4th, in Dayangzhuang, Lixian, Hebei, the overcast sky turned a bizarre shade of orange-red. I've never seen weather like this, remarked a local when a pink sky appeared in Daqing, Heilongjiang on August 7th.
2023年的8月7号晚上9点半，你看这样的天气，从来没有见着过。黑龙江省大庆市。
In Zhangjiakou, Hebei, the sky was ominously clouded, stretching as far as the eye could see, a horrifying sight. On August 8th in Baoding, in the hottest season of the year and after the floods, a rare sight of geese migrating south was seen. On August 2nd, the Tengger Desert in Inner Mongolia experienced a flood, blocking passing vehicles. On August 6, in Shijiazhuang, Hebei, a large number of ants appeared on the ground. On August 7th, in Liaoning, the river began to bubble. In Hebei, not only did rivers bubble, but well water did too. In an unspecified location in the mainland, a red glow shone through a cloud formation. On August 4th, in Yuxi, Yunnan, a flock of birds chaotically flew in the sky. It lasted for about 2 minutes. On August 7th, in Inner Mongolia, a strange tornado column emerged from the clouds. Look at this sight. The water spurts up about 4 to 5 meters high. It's stopped now and it's blocking the way. See how this spring's acting? No need to visit other famous springs anymore. It stopped again. Videos shared by netizens from Weihui City, Henan Province showed water columns erupting from the ground, resembling giant fountains. People are flocking to take pictures while police try to disperse the onlookers. I'm in the cornfield, and for some reason, the ground seems to be boiling. I've never seen anything like this. The earth feels like it's about to cave in. I'm too scared to walk in.
我都不敢走进去，我只在边上看了一下。完了，我家里人就说让我赶紧回，因为就是说，感觉好像这地要塌下去的那种感觉，好害怕的。以前浇地从来没有这种感觉，没有这种现象。
After the floods in various parts of Hebei, fields experienced groundwater eruptions seemingly accompanied by heat. In the Konggang Ronghui Garden of Beijing's Xunyi district, there's a bizarre phenomenon of groundwater spurting accompanied by smoke. In Jinzhou City, Hebei Province, netizens captured videos of insects swarming in a chaotic manner. On August 6th, in a certain area of Hebei, insects were seen circling collectively on the ground. On July 22nd and July 31st, 2023, after heavy rains, the Cining Palace of the Forbidden City, which symbolizes China's imperial authority, was flooded twice. Videos show the courtyard transformed into a pond, with the person filming jokingly saying, "If I brought my swimsuit, I could swim here."
sinkhole swallowing a car whole. It happened early this morning in the suburb of Rochester, New York, adding to a messy commute for many after overnight thunderstorms. One witness says he and a neighbor pulled 2 people out of that sinkhole. They were taken away by ambulance, and their conditions are unknown. Crews later pulled the car out of the sinkhole.
Team coverage of breaking news. Cleanup continues from this morning's outbreak of severe weather. We want to show you again this frankly unbelievable footage of what looks like a tornado spinning right across 295 in Johnston this morning.
As we broke at noon, one car was picked up off the highway and tossed several feet. Just in from the National Weather Service, we have confirmed a tornado did touch down in Scituate. Good evening, I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Shannon Heggie. The National Weather Service has confirmed at least 2 other tornadoes, one that moved through North Attleboro.
So this isn't any photo magic. This looks like nighttime in the day. I'm in front of the town hall where just wow.
这啥现象？库木塔格沙漠啊，8月15日出现这个现象。看这个现象。啊，就是有电啊！你看，看，库木塔格沙漠奇怪的现象，你看。手机有电，我操！
A stunning sight as Sky Eye flew over Haverhill. A massive sinkhole has opened up and it's forced nearly 24 people from their homes. The mayor's now declared a state of emergency there. WBZ's Brandon Truitt is live in Haverhill with the details on that. Brandon.
Hey, Chris, it's a pretty active scene here on Washington Street. Public works crews have been working all day, and they continue to work now to build a bypass for a sewer line that failed here, so then they can ultimately go in and fix the sinkhole itself. At this point, that sinkhole continues to grow by the day.
这啥现象？库木塔格沙漠啊，8月15日出现这个现象。看这个现象。啊，就是有电啊！你看，库木塔格沙漠奇怪的现象，你看。手机有电，我操！
Пожар на испанском Тенерифе уничтожил почти 30% лесного массива острова. В результате вспыхнувшего 15 августа пожара уже уничтожено свыше 15 тысяч гектаров, что составляет 30% лесного массива острова и 8% его общей площади. Большая часть сгоревших лесов относится к территории, окружающей национальный парк Тейде, и является крупнейшей охраняемой природной зоной Канарских островов. Ранее президент Канарских островов Фернандо Клавиха сообщил, что причиной крупного лесного пожара на Тенерифе стал поджог. Он заверил, что виновный будет найден и привлечен к ответственности. Накануне жители острова стали свидетелями необычного природного явления. После прохождения по региону лесного пожара из пепла образовался смерч.
So this isn't any photo magic. This looks like nighttime in the day. I'm in front of the town hall where just wow.
В Бурятии, на участке Байкало-Амурской магистрали, который был размыт после ливней 19 августа, восстановили движение. Для ремонта путей потребовалось почти 2 километра новых рельсов и 21 опора контактной сети. В РЖД подчеркнули, что движение удалось возобновить гораздо раньше запланированного срока.
Earthquake in California. August 20th, 2023. A strong earthquake hit Southern California in the middle of Tropical Storm Hillary. A magnitude 5.1 earthquake hit the Ventura region on Sunday as Hurricane Hillary worsened in the area. Initially, an earthquake measuring 5.1 on the Richter scale struck the OEA area Sunday, August 20th at around 1441. The epicenter was on land with a depth of 14 kilometers. The earthquake was felt in many areas including OEA, Ventura, Los Angeles, Rio, Santa Paula, Oxnard, Camarillo, Oakview, Moon Park, Santa Clarita, and several other areas. Storm Hillary in California. 20 Augustus 2023. After making landfall in Mexico early Sunday, Tropical Storm Hillary has crossed into California, where it is unleashing strong winds and torrential rains and potentially flash flooding. Tropical Storm Hillary brought massive flooding to California. Hillary had maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour by 5 p.m. local time and south-southwest of Palm Springs, California. More than 9 million people, including those in downtown Los Angeles, are under a flash flood warning that is expected to last late into the night. Parts of California, Nevada, and Arizona that are not used to sudden rains can receive a year or more. All state beaches in the Orange and San Diego areas are closed. Parts of Los Angeles and Ventura can see up to 15 inches of rain per hour, according to the National Weather Service. Additionally, winds were blowing as high as 84 miles per hour in the mountains near San Diego. More than 1,000 domestic, in or out of the U.S. flights have been canceled on Sunday and more than 3,600 others have been postponed. The 3 hardest hit airports were all within the reach of Hurricane Hillary, namely Harry Reid International Airport in Nevada, San Diego International Airport, and Sky Harbor Phoenix International Airport.
В воскресенье тропический шторм Хиллари обрушился на побережье Мексики в штате Нижняя Калифорния и спровоцировал наводнение. В районе городов Энсенада и Тихуана были закрыты пляжи.
Arazözü çek oğlum, arazözü çek. Arazözü çek. Arazözü çekin, arazözü. Arazözü çek.
Al orayı cehennem! Çık 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 çık! Baba çık baba! Baba! Baba çık gel! Baba gel baba gel baba gel!
Gel baba!
Evet.
Gel baba gel! Olan oldu baba gel!
Yangın yıl. Eyvah inşallah hayvanlar kaçar. Bizi de tehdit etmeye başladı. Hemen inmemiz lazım. Buradan çık. Çık 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 ablam sende ablam sende çık dışarı abi bin arabaya bin arabaya.
Oh. Yangın her yerde, her yerde. Oh. Bas, bas, bas. Tamam artık gelir bu. Allah'ım ya kurtar ya Rabbi. Mehmet gir bak.
좋아해? 자극?
Continued to burn out of control for a third day in the northeast of the country. Some 12 communities were evacuated over the weekend, and residents have been urged to remain indoors due to the smoke.
Сильнейший шторм обрушился на запад Саудовской Аравии. Основной удар пришелся на Мекку и Джидда. В сети появились десятки видео, на которых сильные порывы ветра сбивают людей с ног. Непогода сносила на своем пути рекламные щиты, металлические конструкции и мусорные баки. Под натиском ветра не устояли некоторые деревья и линии электропередачи. Пострадавшим местные помогали добраться до укрытий. Порывы ветра составляли около 80 км в час, сообщил представитель Саудовского национального метеорологического центра. Ситуация осложнилась сильными ливнями. Автомобили уносило потоками воды. Число пострадавших не уточняется, данных о погибших нет. В Саудовской Аравии такие природные явления бывают нечасто. Занятия в школах, колледжах и вузах королевства перевели на дистанционный формат.
Сильнейший шторм обрушился на запад Саудовской Аравии. Основной удар приняла Мекка. Ураганный ветер буквально сбивал людей с ног. Подняться и добраться до укрытия тем, кто упал, помогали прохожие. Ветер сносил рекламные щиты, металлические конструкции и мусорные баки. Улицы священного для мусульман города превратились в реки. Машины тонули в потоках воды. В Саудовской Аравии такие природные явления бывают нечасто. Занятия в школах, колледжах и вузах королевства перевели на дистанционный формат.
На юго-восточное побережье американского штата Техас во вторник обрушился тропический шторм Гарольд, сопровождающийся проливными дождями и мощными ветрами. Скорость порывов ветра в пределах стихии достигала около 60 метров в секунду. В ряде районов штата обрушилось около 177 миллиметров осадков. Несмотря на понижение статуса шторма до тропической депрессии, сильные дожди в регионе сохранились. Из-за непогоды по всему Техасу были обесточены более 50 тысяч домов. Наводнения в Техасе произошли на следующий день после того, как историческое количество дождей обрушилось на некоторые части юго-запада США. А Калифорния и Невада во вторник восстанавливались после небывалых дождей и наводнений, вызванных штормом Хиллари. В Греции с новой силой вспыхнули природные пожары. Только за сутки обнаружили около сотни новых очагов. Если раньше горели острова, то теперь огонь бушует в 15 километрах от Афин. Небо над столицей затянуто смогом. Выгорают целые деревни, людей приходится эвакуировать десятками тысяч. Стремительно растет число жертв стихии. Спасатели нашли 26 тел недалеко от Александрополиса. Пожарные пока не могут взять ситуацию под контроль, из-за устойчивой жары температура держится в районе 40 градусов, и ветра, скорость которого достигает 60 км в час. Власти Пакистана эвакуировали более 100 тысяч человек после того, как несколько недель дождей снова привели к опасной ситуации с наводнением, что стало мрачным напоминанием о прошлогодней катастрофе. Приказы об эвакуации охватили большую часть восточного региона Пенджаба вдоль реки Сатледж, где за последние 3 недели были зафиксированы наводнения, сообщили официальные лица в среду. Согласно данным, река Сатледж разлилась до чрезвычайно высокого уровня, в какой-то момент расширившись примерно на 4 километра в ширину, что больше, чем река Инд. Разлив реки привел к затоплению нескольких районов, что привело к увеличению числа спасательных операций в последние дни.
А, еще выше. Торговый центр Сити. Бедные машинки.
Приморье вновь терзает непогода. На регион обрушилась уже вторая с середины августа волна проливных дождей, на этот раз их принес фронт южного циклона. Во Владивостоке многие дороги превратились в каналы, в которых тонут автомобили, на улицах образовались гейзеры, в подземных переходах локальные водопады. В рейсовых автобусах горожанам пришлось с ногами забираться на кресла, но шанса не промочить ноги нет. Жители некоторых районов жалуются в соцсетях, что на придомовые территории хлынули настоящие селевые потоки. Большая вода вновь пришла и в Уссурийск. Жители сообщают о подтоплениях на дорогах. Из-за скоплений воды пришлось закрыть проезд по одному из туннелей. По многим улицам проехать можно только на высоких внедорожных автомобилях. В районах Приморского края вновь отрезаны от большой земли 11 населенных пунктов. В одном из них, из-за аварии, жители остались еще и без электричества. Синоптики предупреждают, что проливные дожди будут идти еще день. Ожидается, что выпадет половина месячной нормы осадков.
The weather behind Canada's record-breaking fires, which has destroyed millions of hectares and caused tens of thousands of people to be evacuated from their homes, has been significantly worsened by climate change. That's according to a rapid analysis by a leading team of climate scientists. According to the paper, which has not yet undergone peer review, climate change more than doubled the likelihood of extreme fire weather conditions in eastern Canada between the months of May and July. The researchers also found climate change made the fire-prone weather 20 to 50% more intense. Canada has experienced its warmest May to June period since 1940, beating the previous record set in 1998 by a margin of 0.8 degrees Celsius.
relative to what it would be without any climate change. So in a place or in a climate where in the pre-industrial era, where the Earth is approximately 1.2 degrees Celsius cooler, and what we found is that yes, climate change is really badly involved, I would say, in the fire weather conditions that we have this year.
This was looking at the fires in Canada from May to July. In British Columbia, there have been fresh fires this week. Is that something that your team will also look at?
Unfortunately, no. Actually, that's pretty difficult to look at the whole country at once. But something that we can know for sure is that climate change is also having an impact out west. So you mentioned British Columbia. Previous studies have already shown that fire season there is getting longer, is getting more severe because of climate change. Actually, 90% of the 2017 fire season in BC, which was a record at this time, but this record was beaten this year, was caused by also climate change. So the fire season is getting longer, the intensity of our weather conditions is getting harsher, and those weather
Toda esa agua de allá arriba viene para acá abajo derechito.
Las cosas materiales yo no tengo temor de que se pierdan, yo lo que tengo es pendencia de que se pierdan las vidas.
Районы Приморского края снова уходят под воду. Приморье вновь оказалось во власти непогоды. Новый мощный ливень обрушился на Владивосток и другие города Приморья. Мощный ливень обрушился 23 августа. Жители края в социальных сетях рассказывают, что улицы городов вновь уходят под воду. Сообщается также о затоплении дорог в Харольском районе, размытии мостов в Лесозаводском округе. Регион находится под властью циклона. Местами на территории Приморья идут сильные дожди. Гидрометцентр объявил о штормовом предупреждении на 23 и 25 августа. В связи с неблагоприятными погодными условиями полиция Приморского края через СМИ и социальные сети предупреждает водителей и пешеходов о необходимости проявления максимальной осторожности. Отметим, что синоптики объявили в крае штормовое предупреждение. По данным Примгидромета, 23 августа за 12 и менее часов в регионе выпадет 60 мм осадков, а количество локальных осадков за такой же период времени составит 50 мм. Удар стихии также ожидается 25 августа. Из-за южного циклона в Приморье за 12 и менее часов выпадет 50 мм, местами 60 мм.
В аэропорту. Пожарки вон откачивают.
Дороги просто нет.
Уссурийск, который в пятницу сильно пострадал от удара стихии, продолжает топить. Утром в субботу прорвало дамбу в микрорайоне 7 ветров. Вода стремительным потоком ринулась на улицы и без того затопленного города. С самого утра завывают сирены. Как ранее сообщалось, эвакуация жителей началась еще ночью.
In the flood regions due to the heavy rains on previous days. An estimated 5,000 people have lost their homes and almost about 34,000 people have been evacuated by the rescue workers. The rescue workers evacuated people affected by the floods in the region of Mole. In other affected areas, the rescue workers used boats to help move people in the flooded streets, where water levels in certain areas had reached the rooftop. President Gabriel Boric declared a state of catastrophe in he had visited one of the worst affected areas, some 250 kilometers south of the capital city of Santiago. Now, Boric also asked the Chileans to comply and to cooperate with the evacuation orders. In late June, areas surrounding the Chilean capital had experienced some of the heaviest rainfall in over 3 decades, and this was triggered by the El Nino weather pattern that has led to rainier winters and springs along with very warm temperatures in the South American nation. The forecasters expect more rain to fall across this mountainous area, which authorities warn increases the risk of flooding and landslides.
На северо-западе Турции бушует сильнейший лесной пожар, угрожая не только жителям региона, но и международному судоходству. Огонь подошел вплотную к 9 населенным пунктам провинции Чанаккале. Тысячи местных жителей были эвакуированы из опасной зоны. В тушении пожара задействованы почти 3000 человек, самолеты, вертолеты, более 200 единиц наземной техники. Чтобы обеспечить работу пожарной авиации, которая набирает воду в море, Турция полностью закрыла для судоходства пролив Дарданеллы, важнейший морской путь, соединяющий Европу с Азией. Движению судов препятствует также ограниченная видимость из-за дыма. Турецкие власти не исключают, что причиной пожара стал поджог. Сильный ветер и 30-градусная жара способствуют быстрому распространению огня.
Winds of 100 kilometers per hour disrupted the activities of the Karagwa-Tachaba Mall.
Strong winds that hit Caragua-Tachaba on Thursday afternoon caused damage to Saramar shopping and hampered a number of activities in the Saramar shopping center. In its note, Saramar's press office informed that the mall was affected by winds reaching speeds above 100 kilometers per hour due to the strong winds. Several tiles on the roof of the building came off. All of them fell in the open area of the shopping center. Pictures circulating on social media show moments of tension. Even though the mall reopened on Thursday, Centerplex Cinemas and Max Circus, which were set up in the Saramar complex, were still temporarily halted due to damage repairs.
Eu acredito que é, tá filmando, entendeu? Tá filmando? Tô. Agora abre o meu Deus. Gente, meu celular. Ah, tá feio aqui, ó. Nossa! Ó o temporal! Cadê as meninas do quiosque? Meu Deus do céu! Olha, gente, olha! Tá feio, bom.
Germany. Storms forced the evacuation more than 1,000 vacationers. Germany, Stuttgart. Storm. Southern Germany has been hit by extreme weather. Several people were injured where trees fell in campsite on Lake Constance. Regional transportation was also affected. Several storms hit two campsites on Lake Constance on Germany border with Switzerland, as a result which some 1,200 people have to be evacuated overnight. One campground was in Linder, where 6 people were injured by fallen trees, one seriously. About 900 people were evacuated from here, and another 300 people were evacuated from the campsite, about 13 kilometers away. Elsewhere in southern Germany, 10 more people were injured by flying debris where the storm hit the cluster of motorcyclists in Nordlinden in state of Bavaria. Police said 3 people were hospitalized. Fallen trees caused by clay shoe for several regional rail lines and stayed a neighboring Baden-Württemberg to the west. City trains in Bavarian capital Munich were completely stopped overnight, and some sections were still closed Friday morning, rail operator Deutsche Bahn said. In and around the city of Freiburg in the state of Baden-Württemberg, police said they were called 600 times and incidents including flooding and basements on the streets. Inclement weather will continue in both states on Friday, with a thunderstorm possible in the afternoon and the evening and severe storm in some places, bringing rain, hail and wind gusts and up to 100 km per hour, according to a report by German Meteorological Service. Bavaria, Germany was hit by severe hailstorm yesterday, causing extensive damage homes, vehicles and crops. The storm, which slept for several hours, broke hailstone the size of golf ball, caused significant damage to properties in the region. According to local reports, the hailstorm caused widespread destruction, with many roads blocked due to fallen trees and power lines. Several flights were also cancelled or delayed to Tenerife airports due to adverse weather conditions. Residents were shocked by the intense fire of the storm, with many talking to social media and share images and the hailstones on the damage caused. Some reported that their cars been severely dented, while others shared images and broken windows and damaged roofs. Farmers in the region were also hit hard by hailstones, with many crops destroyed by the extreme weather. The cost of the damage is still being assessed, but they expected to be significant. The authorities have urged residents to take precautions and stay indoors until the storm passes. They have also warned the potential for further flooding and landslides in the coming days due to heavy rainfall. The Bavarian government has promised to provide support to those affected by the hailstorm, with the emergency service working around the clock to clear debris and assess the damage. Despite the devastation caused, residents to region are pulling together to help each other in the difficult time. Ground service in the airport had to stop at Oslo in more than 2 hours. More than 20 flights brought to Frankfurt were diverted to other airports. Due to flooding on the runway, some people could not get airplane that had already landed. In all, about 17 flights were cancelled due to heavy rain and lightning strikes in the central Germany. Heavy rain plunged Germany Frankfurt airport into chaos on Wednesday night, leaving in cancellation about 100 flights and numerous delays. The rain flooded the runway, leaving hundreds of passengers stranded planes on hour. Videos posted on social media showed that most of the runway were covered in water. The airport operator said the statement in yesterday weather conditions when the effective Tuesday flight should do to could lead to further cancellation and delays.
Leute, das hier ist nicht mehr normal. Guckt euch das mal an.
Heavy rainfall over Frankfurt on Wednesday caused dozens of flights to be cancelled at Germany's largest airport. By late afternoon, the late amounts of water were accompanied by a section of runway, leaving passengers stranded and landed planes were unable to dismount. A video from the airport has circulated on social media, showed planes parked significant stranded water and lightning flashing in background. According to the Frankfurt airport website, about 17 flights were cancelled due to inclement weather. Ground service were halted more than 2 hours, and an airport spokesman confirmed. The German Meteorological Service has issued a warning for entire state in case of severe thunderstorm forecast on Wednesday evening. Rain, hurricane force wind and lightning accompanied by severe thunderstorm caused numerous calls to flights in central German state of Kiev, where the airport is located. Due to flooding on the runway, some people could get on airplanes that had already landed. In all, about 17 flights were cancelled due to heavy rain and lightning striking in central Germany. Heavy rains plunged Germany Frankfurt airport into chaos on Wednesday night, leading to cancellation of about 100 flights and numerous delays. The rain flooded on the runway, leaving hundreds of passengers stranded on planes on hour. Video posted on social media showed that most of the railway was covered in water. Ground service in the airport had to stop it altogether on more than 2 hours. More than 20 flights brought from Frankfurt were diverted in other airports. The airport operator said a statement that yesterday weather conditions will affect Tuesday flight schedule and it could lead to further cancellation and delay. Heavy rain over Frankfurt on Wednesday caused dozens of flights to be cancelled in Germany's largest airport. The late afternoon large elements of water had accompanied the session on the runway, leaving passengers stranded and landway parts unable to dismount. A video from the airport was circulated on social media showed planes parked significant stranded water with a lightning flash in background.
1
violent hailstorm has battered parts of Germany, caused widespread damage and destruction. The storm was stuck on a Saturday afternoon, dumped large hailstones on the city, including Munich and Stuttgart, leaving cars dented and windows smashed. Some areas reported hailstorm as large as a tennis ball. In Munich, the storm caused chaos on the streets and motorists struggled to navigate through the hail-covered roads. Emergency services were called to several incidents, including a car incident on the A8 motorway. Local authorities have urged residents to avoid unnecessary travel and to stay indoors where possible. The storm also caused damage to buildings, with the reports of roof behind rapid and the window shattered. In the town of Threadbridge Hill, firefighters were called to rescue a man who had become trapped in his car on the fallen debris. Meteorologists have warned that the sandstorm could be on the way, with a risk of hail, thunder, and lightning in some parts of the country. The German Weather Service has issued warning for several regions, including Bavaria and Baden-Württemberg, and advised people to take precautions. The hailstorms come just a week severe flooding in the western Germany, caused widespread destruction and claiming over 118 lives. The extreme weather events have sparked debate about the impact of climate change and need to urgent action to address the causes.
Bad weather in Milan, gusts of wind caused extensive damage. At 4 p.m. on Sunday, 26 August, heavy rain and gusts of wind hit Milan and the whole region of Lombardy. In the Milan area, in Buccinasco to be precise, firefighters reported the detached roofs of several buildings due to bad weather conditions. Since 1530, the Milan-Alessandria rail line between Mortara and Perona La Molina has been blocked due to damage caused by bad weather. This storm, characterized by rain, wind, and lightning, mainly hit the Brianza region between Monza, Seregno, and Rho. In the region, the wind blows with a certain intensity. Another area that has been significantly affected is in the southwest of the capital, in the municipalities of Rossano, Pieve Emanuele, and Corsico. In Chiappana, near Abbiate Grasso, firefighters stepped in to save a group of people trapped by a fallen tree. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. During the meteorological event, a 68-year-old man was crushed by tiles in Milan via La Marmora. The tile fell from the roof due to strong gusts of wind related to the afternoon rain. Patients with head injuries were transported to the Milan Polyclinic by 118 rescue teams. This incident was not the only one caused by bad weather. The Emergency Operations Center also reported interventions for people who fell when they closed windows or who suffered minor injuries after jumping from doors suddenly. powerful storm hit Milan and most of Lombardy this afternoon as forecast by weather authorities. The heavy and sudden downpour pushed people on the street to seek shelter, causing many to run out of the park, which strangely reopened this morning. Regional and city authorities confirmed orange weather warnings and also forecast phenomena such as hail, gusts, and tornadoes. In the municipality of Buccinasco and the province of Milan, the roofs of several buildings were found, including several temporary roofs that were installed following storm damage in late July. In Milan, a man was injured after being hit by a vase that fell from a balcony. While in the Varese area, the storm caused several trees to fall and damage to roofs and cars. From 3:30 p.m., the closure of the Milan-Alessandria rail line between Mortera and Perona La Molina was also reported due to damage caused by bad weather. Rete Ferroviaria Italiana technicians are working on recovering the situation. Heavy rain is also expected Sunday afternoon and evening between Sunday and Monday. The typhoon that hit the region has hit the Locarno and Lozone counties in the canton of Ticino, where heavy hailstorms have caused several injuries and damage to cars, public transport, and homes.
Toscana e Trentino Alto Adige, dove per domani è prevista l'allerta gialla. In Trentino come anche in Veneto e in Emilia-Romagna.
Another concern is the risk of flooding in the Seveso and Lambro rivers. The Civil Protection has activated preventive measures against the risk of flooding and flooding, with repeated and preventive cleaning of all underground passages and Seveso floors in the Migarda neighborhood and in the area adjacent to Lambro Park. Maximum attention is recommended. The Municipal Civil Protection Operations Center will actively monitor the hydrometric levels of the two rivers and coordinate any interventions. During the weather warning, it is forbidden to visit parks and green areas. It is advisable not to stop under trees, scaffolding at construction sites, dehors, and tents.
Chiudi.
It is important to secure objects and pots on the balcony where they can be blown over.